Understand call by value and call by reference in Java here. So we'll make one class here. Consider the class name is the swap class. Okay. Inside this class, we will just write one method, say public void my swap. Okay. It will take two arguments, suppose int a comma int b, two argument I am passing, and it is integer type. Okay. Inside that I'm trying to swap it the value of a and b. So say t equal to 0 and then t equal to a equal to b, okay, and b equal to t, right? And we can print out here says system dot out dot println what a plus b. Okay, I'm printing a and b. Let us save this file. We'll make other class here which will have a main method, okay, and the class name is say call by value. Save it this file .java. Now in this call by value method, what we'll do? We'll just call this method here. We can create the object of this class, right? So I can say here swap class C equal to new swap class, right? Creating object of that class. Consider I have a two variable here, int x equal to 20 and y equal to 30. Now here I just print x and y. I just print here x and y here, right? Even if it is having the same name, it's not a problem. We can have that, right? B. And we can pass here a and b here, right? A and b. So what is the value of a and b? 20, 30. It will display 20, 30, right? Now I'm calling the function with the help of this guy and say c dot, what is the function name? My swap, right? And this time I pass a comma b. So I'm passing a and b. Once I pass a and b, so this a and b will refer by this a and b. And it will swap it, okay? Now again I want to print it here after calling the function. Now if the main is calling this function, right? So main is a caller or calling function and my swap is the called function here. Does this function will affect this guy or not? That we have to see. Because we are calling this function and we have passed this value a b here. What do you think? What will be the result of this here? Will it give the swapped value or the same value? There's a two chances, right? Now we can compile this code here. So Java C, what is that? Call by value. There's one mistake here. I have to rectify it. Semicolon is missing. Java say call by value, right? So what you have noticed here, the value was exactly 2030. So this is 2030. I'm getting the output 2030 here, right? Or for understanding here, I just say here from main function, right? Same, I can print it here. Here I say not from main, from my swap, right? See this. So from main it is a 2030 again, right? Now from swap 3020. So this method has come and it has made it 3020. So it has swapped the value. But still I'm printing A and B after calling this method but getting the same value 2030 only, right? So what I mean to say here, if you're calling this function by passing any primitive data type, so this is a primitive data type, right? If it is primitive data type, then the value will not change. It will not affect this value, even if you're calling some functions, right? But if I pass here by reference, and if I call function by passing the reference, means other than 8 type which we have, all the primitive types we are having, other than all 8 primitive types, if I pass it, that will be the reference type here, right? So let me create once more here, say Java here, and this time I say one customer class. I'm making one, or just I say call by reference, okay? And here I say class customer, right? In the customer class, suppose there is a one property, just a string name here, okay? Now here I just make one method, one more method suppose, and I say public. I could have made there itself a static void this method or something, swap, whatever you want to do. But this method is looking for one argument. What argument? Customer class C, okay? Now C dot name equal to what? Say James. So this guy is storing the value James in name variable property which we have customer. Now I just print here system dot or dot print line. What I want to print C dot name, and here I write say from disp, okay, plus C dot name. I'm printing the name here, okay. Done. Now here what we'll do now, here we'll make another object here and say customer C1, okay, equal to customer C1 new customer, okay, and then C1 dot name equal to John. So this guy is calling the name and saying John. If I print here system order print line and I say here from main C1 dot name, what will display? John, right? Now I want to call this function, and I'm passing C1 here, because if I call this function I have to pass this customer object, right? I'm passing C1 here. Now after calling I'm just printing, and I want to see whether my C1 is changed or what. C1 was name John, right? So we can see the output here. Save it. So sorry, I need to say call by reference. Just say Java call by reference, right? So what you have noticed that here, first time I was having John, so displaying John here. I'm calling the functions this, and this guy is making the name James. So I'm getting James here. Again, the main is also displaying James. So value has been changed. Why? Because I passed as a reference. I passed the reference type. Okay. What happened here? Suppose if you create the object here, right? So once this object is getting created, this C is referring the same memory which is referred by the C1. And both this guy C and C1 is working in the same memory address. So initially this was having John, now this guy has overridden and made it James here. So I'm getting here James, and again I'm looking for C1.name, so I'm getting the James. John is gone. So that's all about call by value and call by reference here.